Hello, everyone, and welcome to part one of what will be an ongoing showcase series of ENCODE Graphics, the hotly anticipated comic book powerhouse bringing the culture of the metaverse to the world of comics in a big way. Their all-star lineup of industry-leading artists create vibrant characters and worlds with sprawling offerings that weave in and out of the metaverse, allowing fans to immerse themselves into the story. Primal, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, man, for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I have to tell you, everybody is really excited with all the teasers that you've been dropping leading up to this, and now with your founders launch looming. Everybody wants to know, what exactly is going on with ENCODE. They make amazing stuff. Everyone's really excited, and you have a lot of different components. When me and you had talked about it, it was crazy ambitious, to be quite honest with you. I wasn't certain if you guys would be able to put it all together, but amazingly, not only did all those things come to fruition, but you went above and beyond that with more stuff than we had even talked about. So incredible what you're doing over there. Really excited to talk to you about it, and so is our community.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a lot of work.
I'm sure it was. Before we get too much into it, because there's so much to cover, a little bit of background on yourself, if anyone's not familiar with Primal Cipher.
Yeah, what can I say? I want to keep it in a modest way. I started crypto art in early 2020. I did art on platforms like Steemit before 2020, but I totally missed out on the first beginnings of the NFT scene. And actually, I'm an oil painter. You might see a fragment of my first oil painting, and was trying to get more and more involved into art. And to be honest, I was quite depressed because it's not easy to get a foot into the whole art scene. And I was almost about to quit art and go back to my original sectors. I worked with drug addicted people in the psychology sector, and but one day I found crypto art and I felt in love with NFTs. I mean, I was in crypto before, so it was actually easy for me to connect and resonate with the whole scene. And I found it quite exciting because NFTs bring so many advantages. They make art forgery proof, and they have a track record, and there are so many advantages. And I came into super rare through Coldy. He was helping me a lot, and also other crypto artists helped me answering my questions, like Hackadow and Trevor Jones and so on. And I tried my best and released a couple of collections on Nifty Gateway, Super Rare, Maker's Place, and I also had the chance to collab with people like Jose Delbo, and I think this started a lot for me doing more in the comic sector. I think that's it in terms of my.
It's funny when you could say that's it when you're like, hey, I got started working with Coldy and Hackadow, picking their brains for ideas. Obviously, you're in that batch of OG artists, right? That were doing things prior to some of the big boom here, right? So, super cool to see that you stuck with it, and we're fortunate that you did foray and continue down the path of comic books. So, tell me, how do you go from that to this looming huge project with ENCODE Graphics?
What can I say? In the end of 2020, I felt this. I had the feeling I don't want just to do solo art anymore. I wanted to create something bigger. I was a little bit. I didn't felt so good about working all time alone. I wanted to collab more with partners and meet other people and building something together. And I'm a comic enthusiast since my childhood and had the idea to create something with comics. And it's hard to say how it all evolved, because step by step, step after step, everything came together. First it was just an idea, like an egg flying around my head, and it went away, and it came back, and I think the initial spark for founding ENCODE Graphics, or for really going ahead, was when DC sent out the permission to its artists, telling them that they are not allowed to do NFTs anymore with their characters.
Right.
And so I thought, this was it had a huge impact to the NFT scene, and certain artists like Mark McKenna and Jose Delbo and so on. And I thought, what the crypto space or crypto art space, NFT space needs is a real cool own IP, an own publishing house where we can publish titles that resonate with the topics we like, metaverses and futuristic stuff, etc., etc. So,
right. Yeah, and Jose Delbo and Mark McKenna are friends of the program. We've had them on Whale FM as well, and I recall that when the publishing houses came down and said, "Hey, you guys can't use these legacy characters anymore," even though they had such a big part in building them, and that kind of shook things up, right? One thing I'll say is, you talk about wanting to create your own IP and something that's identifiable for the metaverse and people that are native crypto people and NFTs. And I think there's been some attempts at that, right? There's been some loose comic stuff that's been done in that vein, but you guys have a quality that just really hasn't been seen, right? Like it's incredible what you've put together. And if you don't mind, you have a video on YouTube that kind of says, "Hey, what is ENCODE Graphics about?" I would love to play that just to give everyone a flavor for what we're talking about here.
Yeah, go for it.
What would our world be without legends, epics, and heroes? The gray of everyday life wants a blaze of color from stories. Stories that captivate and entertain. Stories that show us characters that inspire us and take us for a moment into strange worlds. We want more. We want to experience a special fascination. We want artistic representation that shines and honors our burgeoning and promising NFT scene. Born out of the myths and depths of the crypto scene, the efforts of cypherpunks, and movements like Occupy and Anonymous, we present to you a project that artfully combines storytelling and illustration. A project that not only undertakes the innovative creation of comics, but sustainably memorializes the crypto world. Enter a world where numerous world-renowned comic artists and writers have joined forces. Enter the world of ENCODE Graphics.
I'm ready to run through a brick wall after watching that, quite honestly. So
yeah, we had some lags here, but it bugged a little bit.
Okay.
Actually, it sounds much better. But yeah, it was actually the first teaser I created, and the whole project evolved a little bit. So in the beginning, the focus was more on the main title 2084 and Satoshi Nakamoto. But yeah, like I said, it evolved. So the main focus is not on Satoshi anymore. He plays a huge role in this certain title, but 2084 is just one title. So
right. I mean, that was early in the evolution of what you guys were putting together. So, but still, nonetheless, gave us a feel of where you were coming from artistically and your thought process and what you were putting together. And so you've been gracious enough to make a presentation to share today, and I'd love to start that and have you walk us through the project a little bit.
Yeah, fine. Let's talk about it. I just can give a a rough overview about the whole project because it's so big.
Right.
And I think we have to go more into detail in further showcases. So, but I try my best to summarize everything, and I hope the presentation brings more light into it.
Yeah, definitely. And quite honestly, we're excited because that means we get more more chances to see more of this amazing stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Where should we begin? Where it all started, obviously. First, I wanted to try something with Nifty Gateway. It was actually more about art drops, about forming the whole idea into artworks. And I contacted Will Conrad and Mark McKenna if they would be interested to participate in the first ENCODE Graphics drop, and they meant, yeah, sure, let's go for it. And we had a little talk about it and what the plans are, and so we had our first release in April 21 on Nifty Gateway with the Genesis Part 1 collection. And these collections, both Genesis collections, are only focused on Satoshi Nakamoto and how ENCODE Graphics is interpreting this anonymous entity. And I think that the core pieces is Satoshi X Lady Liberty. It represents in a wonderful way what 2084 is about. And this will be an ongoing art format. So a huge variety of artists will draw this subject, Satoshi with Lady Liberty. So number one was just the start, and in the Genesis collection number 2, we saw the Lady Liberty piece number 2, and we already have some more nice pieces, and I can't wait to publish them. But they will be accessible only for founders in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where you started, and all those pieces are collaborations with these artists as well.
Yeah. Indeed. The Genesis collections were had features with Will Conrad, Tyler Kirkham. He's a huge and brilliant artist who is very well known in the comic space, and of course Mark McKenna, who is since quite a while in the NFC scene. And newcomer Ari Pratama. He's a young talent I found, and I instantly wanted to work with him more because he's quite talented and he knows what he is doing, and I harmonize a lot with in working with him. So it's a pleasure to support him in his further career.
Very cool. And I believe that you mentioned that's part of kind of what you plan to do here is kind of marry some of these amazing talents that already are out there in the comic book world with a lot of the up and coming, really, star artists that are coming through the ranks.
Mm-hmm. So about the vision, what's ENCODE about? I mean, the core vision is to create or found an art and comic publishing house. Obviously, we cannot compare to Marvel or DC. I mean, they are here since the 40s of the last century and have a long track record and created a wonderful universe on their own. So ENCODE is still in the early stage, but I think we are on the right track, and I'm convinced that we can found a sustainable art and comic publishing house, and bridging this traditional comic space with the NFT space, and that's something that is very important for me personally, because I'm so used to NFTs and the whole space, and as a enthusiast for traditional comics since my childhood, I want to see them more and more bridged together in different ways. And one possibility to do this is building a solid Web3 based network for the NFT holders, but also in terms of physical books, so-called NFT editions, which hold NFC stickers which contain Ethereum NFTs. And yeah, so the goal is to create a more interactive NFT bridged comic universe. And yeah,
which is so cool, especially being that thematically this is about the metaverse, and literally these different components, whether you have the physical, you can then go to the, into the metaverse with Web3 access via the sticker. It sounds like there's a site, ENCODE network, perhaps. Maybe I'm guessing here, but it looks like there's going to be a site to be able to get access to various things, right? And unlocks based on what you have. So that weaving in and out, I think, is super cool. It would be cool in general, but literally that's part of what the story is. So it's really a 360-degree experience.
Yeah, that's the goal. And to produce high quality and a certain rarity. I mean, if you are familiar with the traditional comic space, a print run of 500 comic pieces is actually very rare. And if ENCODE releases a print run of just 100 pieces, that's super rare. And bridged with the NFC stickers, it's something very innovative. It has not done before yet. There are no comics out there with NFTs bridged, coupons, for example. Yeah.
Very cool.
And so rarity is one of the core values. At the same time, high quality. I mean, I would consider myself as a comic fan, really a fan. So my aesthetic eye is very picky, and yeah.
Well, it definitely shows. That's the first thing anyone says when they take a look at it. They're kind of, they're kind of taken aback by the level of polish that's on these. So let's talk about the series. You have a number of them, correct?
Yeah. Currently, we are working on 4 titles. The first title is called Metadales. It's highly inspired by old anthologies like Dark Horse Presents or Caliber Presents. These comics were only in black and white. The covers actually were colored, but the interior pages always were black and white. And they had the purpose to create showcases, short stories from different artists, from a huge variety of artists, and some never made it to ongoing series, and some made it. For example, if you think about Frank Miller's Sin City, he was the first time he was represented with Sin City was in Dark Horse Presents. I'm not sure which issue anymore, but it started everything actually. And to date, Frank Miller released movies, different ongoing series and a limited series. So Sin City was quite a success. Or for example, The Crow from James O'Barr. It also was in Caliber Presents. No, it was in Caliber Presents as a short story, and got a limited series with 4 titles because it was such a success, and people thought, wow, the work is outstanding, we want to read more. And that's the case also with Metadales. It's a black and white anthology that showcases different artists, stories, and art. And the lineup is pretty huge. I mean, Mike Barron is an Eisner Award winner. I think he won 2 Eisner awards, and that's pretty huge in the comic industry. Or Chuck Dixon, who is famous for his Nightfall run from Batman, or Aaron Lopresti. Chuck Brown also is a award winner. And yeah, there are different artists, but also new artists. I wanted to give newcomers a chance. And for example, there is one story from Mike Barron, and I contacted a not so known penciler and asked him if he want to draw a Mike Barron story. And it was a funny coincidence because he's a huge Barron fan. And so I gave him the chance to make this story happen. And yeah.
That's awesome. So if I understand this correctly, this is a showcase for characters or for IPs that could potentially move on, right? You could see something in here and then later on see it in Marvel, in DC, in Dark, wherever.
Yes, potentially yes, but actually it's the main focus is on short stories.
Okay.
And all these short stories are set in futuristic scenarios, different worlds, etc., etc. And future founders will have the right to vote on different stories. For example, the Aaron Lopresti story, I discussed it with Aaron, and he meant actually this is a story he wants to go to work more on, and he wants to create an ongoing series. And but future founders will decide if this will happen. In my humble opinion, I would go for it because it's called New Exodus. It's the right page you all can see now, and the artwork is outstanding, and the story is pretty interesting. But I don't want to spoil too much.
Right. Very, very cool.
Yeah, and beside Metadales, the Black and White anthology, the actual main title is called 2084. It's a story that contains Satoshi Nakamoto to a certain point, but the actual main protagonists are a group around the character Primus. There is no connection to me and the name Primal Cipher. I came up with this name because he's the best of the class. He's Primus, and yeah, he knows what he's doing. And the whole series is set in a very dystopian version of our future Earth. The whole series captures the current zeitgeist and all the social problems we have to face at the moment and since the last decades. There's so much to say, but it's a classic cyberpunk story. It's about the fight against mega corporations and also a one world government, which is called Coin. It resonates a little bit to the crypto scene with the name Coin, which means coalition of independent nations. So yeah, the whole story starts actually in a metaverse. Primus is captured in some kind of prison, and but he can escape, and then the whole story begins. So the pages you're seeing is actually the first page of the whole story. And here you also can see a little bit of the progress. Marcio Abreu, very well-known comic artist, you can find him on Instagram, drew the pages or is drawing the pages. And Ticho Lima, a colorist who is doing works for DC and Marvel, is coloring the pages. So yeah, it will be a very interesting title because it gives room for so many different new opportunities. So
right,
we are also working on 3D models, and maybe you want to show the video for this first
sure.
Satoshi character we created.
That was incredible.
Yeah, they're super well done. But to be honest, these are just low to mid poly figures, and I'm planning to do high poly figures, characters, models. And with high poly models, the limit is the sky. You basically can create movies or Netflix episodes or whatever. So this is something for the future, but it's one of my goals, or a part of the whole vision. Yeah.
So I have to ask you, relative to these 3D models, what are your intentions with them? Are these for NFTs? Are these for gamification? Like what's the end goal for these?
Yeah, it's a good question. That I would split it in 3 sections. One section would be artworks, small collaborations with people like, for example, Frank Weiler and Weiler World, etc. And the second section would be for gamification. I would be open for a nice partner in these terms. And third section would be for potential movies. But as I mentioned, this would be something for the future when the first arc is released, and the first arc contains 5 issues, so of the comic title. So
Very cool.
see. Yeah, I just want to have something in my hands,
right,
and see the whole 3D section a little bit more realized.
right.
Yeah. The third title is actually pretty interesting because it's a collaboration with one of my how should I say, one of the greatest communities and projects in the NFT space. I'm a big fan of altpunks, but actually just distopunks, because if you know me, I'm a big cyberpunk fan, and when I saw the distopunks the first time, I thought, yeah, this is how CryptoPunks actually should look like. And Decadente, the founder of DistoPunks, did a great job. And he's pretty smart, and we resonate a lot because he also shares the vision that NFTs should not just sit around in your wallet and look good. They actually should give you some more possibilities and utility. And what he's creating with his token, he's releasing creds, and the fact that distopunks will create creds daily, and all the other features he's planning to do, or he's already doing, is just great. And so I reached out to him because I'm also a distopunk holder, and told him about my project and that I would love to create a comic story about the distopunk universe. And he was quite open for it, and we worked it out a little bit, and I got green light. And so they call me Wiz popped up. And yeah, at the moment we are in the early stages. We have some artworks. The art you see here is a big Akira homage. Everyone who knows the movie Akira immediately will see what I mean. And yeah, the whole story is also set in a futuristic version of our planet. It's after a great war happened, and one of the main characters is Wiz. Actually, it's the main protagonist, but there are some other characters which are very important. And yeah, Wiz is an experienced biker, and he's forced to guide a stranger through the ruins of Greystone City to avert a dangerous threat. And yeah, the Dystopunk universe, how ENCODE is interpreting it, will play in Greystone City. And yeah, you can be quite excited. There are so many different key points or areas, and the whole first arc will contain 3 issues and tell the first story about it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, to be honest.
Very cool. We have a trailer here as well. Could I run that?
Yeah, sure.
In collaboration with Disco Punks, presented by ENCODE Graphics. A journey into a distant future where a once great city lies in ruins. The few remaining survivors fight for supremacy. Gangs, apes, robots, humans, and cyborgs. They thrive in this harsh world where the rules of the street are law. Created by Primal Cypher, Joey Oliviera, and Alejandro Radio, with guest appearances by other comic artists. Meet the punks of the future in the debut of this 3-part series. They call me Wiz.
Outstanding.
Yeah, the great thing is everyone out there who is not familiar with Dystopunk or the whole NFT scene can read the comic and read a wonderful story, and he doesn't have to know about Dystopunk, but he will know about Dystopunk if he holds a physical copy about it in his hands, because it will be all in the paperback. And so this creates some more awareness and attention to the NFT space, which is also one of the core or the main goals of ENCODE. So it's not exclusively for the NFT space, and I think that's also something ENCODE Graphics is about. Yeah.
You're right, because although it may personify some of these avatars, really, you could look at these and just think they're amazing characters, right? It's not just tailored to, you know, the existing scene and people that know who some of these things are.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I think that's very important because, I mean, you can make a project exclusively for the NFT scene, and people will like it and so on and so on. But if you really want to make steps into the traditional space, you have to create something that is, yeah, how should I say?
It's definitely accessible by anyone. Anyone can look at this and think it looks amazing, or get enthralled by the characters and kind of understand the nuance of what's going on there with Cyberpunk.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
And there is another series.
There is another series, and this is actually one of the most important series, because it's the main topic is the metaverse, and it's called the Nexus 5. Well, the general logline is a professional VR gamer makes a deal to rescue a millionaire's daughter in exchange for a better life, and discovers that the kidnapper is a dangerous hacker planning to attack his city. So it's not only playing in the metaverse, but mainly, and it also has 3 issues. The first arc, but there is much more room for more, and it's also not. You see Satoshi in the background of this cover. It's just an Easter egg. It's not connected to the crypto scene in general. It's actually about VR, etc., etc. I mean, if you're familiar with movies like Ready Player One and other stuff like The Matrix, I think this topic or subject is something very fascinating. And yeah, but the Nexus 5 won't be just a comic book. If you turn to the next page, I can tell you more. It is a comic book series that is also connected to an avatar project. I think the whole idea behind it was this situation of an oversaturated market. Especially in the last month, we saw so many copycats of Bored Ape Yacht Club and CryptoPunks. Yeah, I don't want to judge anyone or so, but I had the feeling something is missing. They all look the same, and it's not really exciting for me personally. And so I wanted to create something more eye-appealing and something with more functions, and that is also connected to a comic book. So the Nexus 5 will be not just a comic, but an avatar project with an own standing Web3 platform. And it's quite interesting because there will be 5 different factions. For example, the faction of gamers, the Brotherhood of Apes, and aliens and robots, and also a faction called the Outsiders. And this avatar project will be actually a game. And you can play with your avatars on this Web3 platform we are building. Yeah, there will be around 9K unique avatars, but there will be many special avatars that are really unique. And the avatars have different rarities. They have skills, they have different abilities, and also classes. So, for example, it can be that you get a hunter, or you get a priest, or a tinkerer, or whatever. Yeah, and with the avatar, you can enter the Web3 platform, and depending on the class and the faction, you can play the game in different ways. So yeah, and one nice feature is that it goes back to the comic, actually, because if you have a certain avatar, these are actually rare avatars. You can via the mechanisms the platform is providing, you can claim something. For example, the idea was to create unique comic variants of the first issue of the Nexus 5 with your own avatar. So it would be a really unique variant cover of this comic title, and only the holder of the avatar is also allowed to claim the physical copy. And yeah, I think that's pretty huge, because that's something a regular publisher would never do. Why should he just print one comic book? That makes no sense. But with the Avatar project, this makes sense. And so it's actually a pretty rare, unique comic cover variant this person will hold in his or her hands. Yeah.
That's amazing. Before we go on a little bit, I wanted to touch on a couple of things for the community. One thing that you've been gracious enough to do, since we're going to be having a couple of these, just to go through all the different components that are launching and how they tie in together, is we have an exclusive POAP that's available right now for anyone watching this presentation. If you are on our Discord server, hop in. The instructions will be there. If you are not, let me see if I can pull this up. Here is a look at what it is. It is a ENCODE logo variant featuring Ava Frost, a character, I believe, from 2084, right?
Yeah.
And there were some concept logos that were being worked through. Ultimately, they didn't end up as the logo, but we have a lot of these cool characters lined up. If you stay tuned to the various showcases, you can collect them all. Today's POAP will be Ava Frost. So DM the POAP bot with the instructions. You have to say chapter 1, and you will be able to claim yours today. I just dropped that in the Discord as well. If you are not on the Whale Discord, discord.gg/whale, you can hop in and DM the bot and grab yourself a very cool exclusive ENCODE POAP with more to come with our future showcases. And another thing unique to our community is this is a living, breathing, this is being created right now. It's going to continue to be created on the fly. And so you actually had a character, Snakebite, who, accompanies some of the main characters. I think he's along with Lorian and his girlfriend Jade, and that character was being developed. And so we actually put a vote up on the Whale community to vote on how that character would be developed. Before that, let's take a look at the trailer and what everyone saw when this was introduced.
Welcome to the Nexus 5 Experience user. You are online.
I love it. And so the community was hyped when they saw that. A lot of people on Twitter were excited and said, wait, what a cool concept to help contribute to the build. First of all, thank you for allowing us to be part of that. And how did you feel about the response from the community?
So far, totally great. I mean, this is something that is really important for me. I don't want just create all characters and so on. It's pretty exciting actually to involve the community and also future founders that they can decide on different decisions. And yeah, so the character Snakebite will be a community character, and in terms of his appearance. And I'm looking forward to show everybody the output.
Let's take a look real quick at where we were standing at the votes just prior to us going live. So in ethnicity, it was running neck and neck with Asian and white. And first of all, was there a timestamp that you took the results, or are you still letting that breathe a little bit?
Oh no, I plan to do this in the upcoming days.
Okay, so people still have an opportunity to have their impact felt by voting, you're saying?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and then for clothing, it looks like it's a runaway for the futuristic leather jacket.
Yeah,
no hope there.
I was really happy about this decision, to be honest.
Yeah, I saw your vote in there for the same one as well. Hairstyle looks like pompadour with mid fade.
Yeah,
and let's see, on vote on the second half. So definitely a bearded character. And then this one is absolutely neck and neck. I don't know where this is going to shake out, but a lot of fans of a lot of these different attributes. Cybernetic eye, skull tattoo seems to always be at the forefront. Tech monocle. So we're yet to see what is going to come out on top for this. What if we end up with a tie? What happens?
I think for the accessoires and body modifications, we just take the top 3.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
we could end up with multiples. That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the skull tattoo will be in there and the cybernetic arm, and so far it fits very well with the character because it's a former army soldier. Yeah, at the beginning of the story, and to date, he is an VR gamer who is in the same group like Jade and Lorian. You can see now.
Right. Yeah, really excited to see how he turns out, and the art style is just incredible on this. We've been hearing comments all week of people saying that it's top level quality. So, kudos to what you're doing over there for sure. And also, I just want to, bring it back to the whole point of this being really an immersive project, right? Like this is at the onset, the launch. This isn't even published yet, and the community is able to take part in shaping the character. We're downloading different attributes from your build as POAPs and NFTs are out there, and there's a lot of components. They really comprise that project that you guys are putting together and make it so immersive, which is literally the topic of it. So it's like your mind can start jumping down the rabbit hole a little bit.
Yeah. And I think that's the point. It's really a lot that comes together. So there won't be just the Nexus Web3 platform, but also the ENCODE network. And I would say there will be 3 different websites. They are all connected to each other, of course. And ENCODE.graphics is more an informatic, it's more a website about informations and the whole publishing house in general. And the Nexus 5 Web3 platform is the game for the Avatar project. But the ENCODE network is actually the key platform, because with the founder NFTs, you will be able to claim the key, and through a MetaMask verification, you can enter the ENCODE network. And this is actually what it's all about. In the network, founders will be able to read and mint the comics. They can participate in raffles for unique or also limited artworks, and they can claim different artworks and also claim physical boxes with very rare and exclusive comic book titles. And there will be more and more features implemented once the network goes live. And in terms of the physicals, this is quite interesting. As I mentioned, for me personal, it's very important to keep the physicals rare for the founders, the original physical pieces. And so only gold and silver founders will be able to claim the physical boxes. But this does not make the bronze founders less valuable, because they have all the rights to participate in different raffles and bronze founder only raffles, for example. So there will be different types of raffles. Bronze only, silver only, gold only, but also raffles for everyone. And gold founders will have the opportunity to claim a box with original art and the NFT edition books, and which are coming with the NFC stickers and the NFTs tied to it, and much more. And this is something I'm very proud of, because I could establish a partnership with CGC. ENCODE Graphics is an official CGC dealer now, and we are able to we were able to get the first NFT edition book ever graded, and you can see it here.
Wow.
It's also stated as NFT edition, and it's the very first of its kind, and that's quite exciting. And in terms of the ENCODE network, currently we are running a pre-sale for the founder NFTs, and there will be an official sale on September 21st. I'm not sure if it actually will come to this official sale, because we got so many requests and emails from people who want to buy founder tokens. The founder tokens come in 3 different tiers: gold, silver, and bronze, and they give the holders the right to participate in the ENCODE network for 1 year, but not with purchasing the founder cube. I mean, the whole year will start when they claim the key once the ENCODE network goes live. So nobody has to be afraid that, okay, I bought the founder cube today, and now the time is ticking. That's not the case. So there is plenty of time, and I think we will release the network in the upcoming weeks, and so people will be able to claim the key and read and mint the first issues of MetaTales. Yeah.
I have a bunch of questions for you at the end, but one that I see already in the community is people are asking, if they're not able to get in on the pre-sale, would there still be opportunities to take part in, ENCODE? Will there be other NFTs, other ways they can grab the comics, etc.?
Yeah. I decided initially it was the idea to publish the comic books as NFTs, also for people who don't have the founder cubes, and just buy a minimal amount of ETH to get it. But I came to the point where I thought I want to keep it also exclusive for the digital space, so only founders will be able to mint and read the comics. There will be releases of the physical books and digital ones, but not as NFTs. So, yeah.
Okay. And do you want to elaborate just a little bit more on the founders cubes and what they entail?
Yeah, sure. The founder cubes, they actually give you the right to enter the ENCODE network and to claim your key and participate in the whole network for 1 year. But they also give unlimited access to mint and read comics forever. So certain sections of the network are restricted to 1 year, like the raffles, participating in the votings and the events, and all the upcoming other features. But reading and minting the comic books as NFTs is unlimited. So basically, if you have founder NFT, you have a lifetime guarantee to read the comic books and get them as NFTs. I think that are the key points. I hope I don't missed something to mention, but I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is we're definitely going to have to come back to talk more about some of these other things we couldn't go in depth in, and I'm sure then we can explore it a little more. So what's next on the rollout calendar? I know your pre-sale, I think, was your sale for the founders was supposed to be the 21st, right? But we don't know if we'll make it there in time with what's going on in the pre-sale. There's instructions on your Discord for people to email you to get involved in the pre-sale. I think the context of it was, with so many people fighting with gas wars or whatever, you wanted to be able to relegate people. Hey, you can get this is your NFT that you can purchase, and here is your link, so people aren't fighting for gas and for spots.
The plans were different, but you know how it is. Sometimes you have to improvise. And actually, I just wanted to make a regular sale, but the current concerns raised from many sides, and I wanted to give everyone a fair chance, and not that a whale steps in and grabs too many tokens and sells them for a higher price. So I started the pre-sale, and so far it's going very well. Not everyone claimed the NFTs at this point, but we got a lot of emails. And
Right. I'm looking here, and certainly there's been a lot of interest, and a lot of people wanted to take part. So I love to see it. And I did notice also on OpenSea there's some of these artifacts that are here as well. So this is probably here for future use, but it was cool to see that things are up and running and in place.
Yeah. This collection is actually the collection of the physical NFT editions. So you can see 50 pieces of the cover art from Aaron Lopresti and Lee Sullivan. And people who will have the physical comic could redeem it.
Okay.
If they want. That's also a function that will be on the ENCODE network. There is an own NFT redeem section, but to be honest, who will do it? I mean, I would prefer to hold the physical comic book with the NFT attached to it, and yeah,
right.
And it will be obvious if someone wants to sell a physical copy without the NFT, but wants to claim that the NFT is still there. It's not possible because it's a two-factor system. So the comic books will come with envelopes, sealed envelopes, and you can verify if the NFT is still on the comic book. If you also will get the sealed envelope with the second part of the private key. So
very cool. So I have a bunch of questions from the community. If you have a couple of minutes, I'd just like to make sure we cover off on them because they've been.
Just let me answer the earlier question you had. What the next steps will be?
Oh, sure.
After the pre-sale. I think the main goal, or the high priority at the moment is the ENCODE network, so that people can enter it and claim the first comic books. And then I want to start the raffles for all the founders and release more artworks I held back, and also announce some artists that I did not announce yet. So I will announce one now because I'm very proud and happy that he could contribute to ENCODE. His name is Derek Robertson. He made this piece exactly, and he made 4 other pieces. And who is Derek Robertson? He's very well known in the comic industry. He co-created The Boys, for example,
wow.
which is an Amazon series and a comic title. He's the co-creator. And another comic title is called Transmetropolitan from the Vertigo imprint. And yeah, that's pretty huge. And I'm really happy that he's part of ENCODE Graphics with 5 works so far. And yeah.
Awesome. Some alpha here, some exclusive breaking news from Primal Cypher himself on ENCODE Graphics. Very, very cool. Someone had actually asked, you talk about your fandom. What are your favorite comics? What are some of your greatest influences?
Yeah, obviously V for Vendetta. I think it's a comic book that had a huge impact on society in general, with the Anonymous masks, for example, and yeah, I mean, with the movie, etc., etc. If you ever have read the comic, it's a little bit different like the movie, but it's wonderfully done, and the drawings are outstanding. How the whole plot is built up is outstanding. I love the scene where V is talking with not Lady Liberty, but Lady Justice, and yeah, it's really funny in a certain way. Another title is Transmetropolitan. I already mentioned it. It's created by Warren Ellis and Derek Robertson, who also created The Boys, which is a series on Amazon, and one third title is Neil Gaiman's Sandman. I'm a huge fan of this run because there are so many different artists involved. The whole run has 75 issues, and every 5 or 6 issues the artist changes, and all together it gives a wonderful epic run of a comic story that is not superficial. And I think that's the key point for me when it comes to comics. I don't want to read superficial comics. I want to read comics that have a more profound core message behind between the lines, and follow the number one rule of comics, and that is to entertain in a good way. So I would say Sandman, Transmetropolitan, V for Vendetta, Watchmen, The Boys, yeah, I think, and Hellblazer, obviously, because the character Primus is a little bit referenced or inspired by John Constantine, who is the main protagonist of Hellblazer.
Yeah, I can see that a little bit. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. I'm looking here at, a page of some of your artists and whatnot, and one of the questions that's relevant was, who are your other collaborators? People commented that the voiceover sounded incredible, the music sounded incredible. Do you have a team of people that are just really excited about this project? Because the quality from all perspectives seems amazing.
Yeah, there are different teams, different art teams, and different developer teams. For example, I collaborate with CryptoBaits. CryptoBaits is a wonderful OG crypto company project. Which they are long in the space since I think 2012 or 2013, and they already achieved so many things. So live events in the UK and festivals, and they developed many NFT projects, and they also made the NFC stickers for us. And these guys definitely know what they are doing, and they have a lot of experience. They're all well experienced devs. And I also work with Bro Toys. He's since a long time in the NFT space and the collector, and also a good Solidity dev. And I formed one team with him. And yeah, so all in all, there are different teams. It's not possible to create so many comic titles with just one team. You have to organize it with different teams.
Right. Well, kudos to you for organizing, because it all comes together and looks really, really cohesive. Someone asked, is there still availability in the pre-sale at any level? Can they reach out and get involved still?
Yeah, there are founder tokens left. I think for a silver and bronze for the silver and bronze tier. Gold is sold out at the moment, or they're all reserved. Some people didn't claim them yet, and there is a deadline until September 17th. And after that, I will open the gate for all the other potential buyers who are already interested in the Gold Founder NFT. So there is definitely room for more of the silver and bronze tiers.
Excellent. Someone asked, what are your thoughts on the new Matrix trailer?
I didn't see it, actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh no! I hope they don't mess it up.
Yeah. You know what? I'm cautiously optimistic, and I have mixed feelings on it. But knowing the Matrix, maybe they're not playing all their cards in the trailer, right? Yeah. But one comment I made last night was I'm very purple pill on it, right? I'm not red nor blue. I'm purple pill at the moment. We'll see where I land.
Okay, that's a nice comment.
Someone asked, any thoughts about trading cards?
Yeah, trading cards is actually a side project that I put on the shelf for now. I contacted Immutable X and they responded, but I did not find the time to respond back, to be honest. My goal would be to make a collaboration with Immutable X. I think what the team has done with Gods Unchained is absolutely amazing. I'm a big fan of trading card games. Also a Magic card collector, and I have a decent collection. And yeah, so for me, Gods Unchained did the best job out there so far when it comes to TCGs. And I think ENCODE provides a very strong IP and general concept that it would be absolutely amazing to collaborate with Immutable X. Yeah.
That would be amazing. We have a lot of Gods Unchained fans here. In fact, a lot of people found their way to Whale via Gods Unchained. So they would be super hyped to see that come to fruition. Someone asked, what distinction do you get with your Discord community roles for collectors and founders?
Yeah, some concerns raised up if we will just delete the collector role or not, and because many people participated in the Nifty Gateway drop and they got the collector role, and I totally understand they want to keep this role. I think we just will rename it to NG Collector and stack it on top of the founder role. So all the early supporters of the project who bought on Nifty Gateway will keep their role, and the new founders will get the gold, silver, and bronze founder role. So yeah.
Very, very cool. And I'm sure that there'll be a lot of interesting integrations with Discord. Discord is a great tool for community building because it allows so many different things via bots and permissions that you can give to have exclusive access to various things. So it'll be exciting to see how that shapes up over the coming months within your Discord.
Yeah, also for giveaways and so on. So currently we are running a Discord invite contest and give away 3 bronze founder tokens. And yeah, there is room for more, definitely.
Someone asked, how can you manage so many deliverables at once?
I think the key element here is to have different teams. Otherwise, it would not work. And with different teams, that's possible. Yeah.
Another question is, how has the industry and community response been to your project launching?
Which industry do you mean? The NFT space or?
I'm not sure. So however we want to take it, whether it's the comics industry in general with your peers or the NFT space as well.
Yeah, the people from CGC I was in contact with were super amazed about this new idea to bridge comic books with NFTs. And I think that's one of the reasons why I got green light so fast and could get the CGC books so fast. I mean, I have one here, for example. I already received them, and they the normal turnaround times for grading at the moment, I think, are at least 2 or 3 months. And yeah, they did it for me very fast. So yeah, the response from CGC was very good. And in terms of the NFT space, yeah, you know how it is. If you don't have these big influencers on your side, it's not so easy to get this big attention in the NFT space. And so not so many people knew about ENCODE Graphics, but everyone who found the project, I got so many messages. Wow, what you guys are doing is just wonderful. The artworks are outstanding. The ideas are outstanding, and this motivated me a lot to go further with the project. So all in all, the response is very good.
Yeah, you and I had been in contact for some time on, just kind of sharing different ideas and whatnot. And it's been incredible to see over the past, I want to say the past week, things have just ratcheted up to a new level. You were building in the background. I think part of it is you guys had so many different pieces spread across different things, right? You had the NFTs, you had the comic series, you had the physical tie-in with collectibles, and now people are understanding how it all comes together. And with your launch imminent, now people are really taking notice, and there's been a huge uptick in your socials, and I'm part of your Discord community in there as well. And certainly the founder sale is on fire, right? So great to see that people are just are seeing it for the amazing quality and obviously the thought behind it to really tie it all together.
Yeah, I totally appreciate it. So far, the response in terms of the pre-sale is so good that I mean, for me, it's a call that primarily you have to commit in a huge way, and I'm happy to take this call and make the best out of it. And I think, to be honest, I have to realize it for some time that I'm able to create an own comic universe and publishing house and tied to NFTs. It's totally amazing. I'm almost a little bit speechless, and yeah.
It's great to see everything coalesce like this for you, and amazing to think that now you're talking about ramping up your level of focus on it. If this was what was done while you were, at 99 instead of 100%, I can't imagine the amazing things that'll happen going forward. So excited to have you back on to talk about a lot of different things. For example, the game, we really don't know much about it, right? It looks like there's a lot of other things in development as well. The networks, when they do open and people can utilize that. So we will get something on the calendar to follow up and make sure our community is in the know, and likely see what else we could do with Snakebite, right? We're going to have a peek at him sometime in the near future. So we'll be able to take a look, and who knows, maybe we'll have some input into some other things that go on with that character as we move forward.
Yeah, I'm totally looking forward to it. So in the next showcase, I'm happy to show you the output of the voting, and you all will see Snakebite and how he evolved. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And thanks, Nightmare, for having me. It was really a pleasure to be here in the whale community and with you as such a great host.
It's easy when you have content like this, my friend. So Primal, once again, thank you. Best of luck, although you don't need it. Best of luck in the upcoming pre-sale and your launch of the Founders Token. We eagerly look forward to our next showcase where we can take a look at Snakebite and everything else you guys have ready to launch. Take care.
Take care too. Bye, man. Thanks. Have a good one.